I couldn't believe it. I thought I was dreaming because it was like, how did I write down 20,000 and they called me and said they were going to give me exactly 20,000? It was crazy. Like, I literally felt like I was dreaming. I felt like I was dreaming. I'm like, there's no way that this is happening. There's no way. This cannot be real. They just told me that this is the amount that you're going to be getting. You're getting $20,000. You can manifest anything no matter what you're going through in your life.
Welcome to Lottery Dreams and Fortune. Hi, I'm Timothy Schultz, the host of the podcast Lottery Dreams and Fortune. Now, I usually interview lottery winners and people with extraordinary stories of luck, intuition, and even manifestation. But today we're starting something new. It's a community series where we share your stories. Our first guest in this series is known as Seven, and she was journaling, visualizing, and setting intentions when something really remarkable happened. Let's dive in. So I understand that you believe in manifestation and you have an incredible story from when you were pregnant. So what actually happened?
My story started back in 2019. I was pregnant and I lost someone very close to me. He took his life. And so my pregnancy was very hard and I was angry and depressed. During that time, though, I was able to manifest my own apartment and $20,000 from a lawsuit. And the way that I did it was whenever I went to work and I had free time, I would type on the computer everything that I wanted for my apartment. I wrote down the color couch that I wanted, what table I wanted, how I would decorate it. I also wrote in there that I would be able to stay home with my son for the whole first year. That was very important to me. I was able to manifest my apartment, and then shortly after that, I actually got into a car crash, and that car crash turned into a lawsuit, which gave me the money that I needed to stay home with my son. And I actually have the book right here that I wrote it down, and I titled it Appreciative, and I put $20,000 right there. And literally the very next day, they called me and said they were going to give me $20,000. So this happened December 30th. So they called me that following Monday and told me that I got $20,000. And my jaw was like, I couldn't believe it. I thought I was dreaming because it was like, how did I write down 20,000 and they called me and said they were going to give me exactly 20,000? It was crazy. I never experienced anything like that before, where it was exactly what I wanted.
That is really incredible. So how did that feel at the time? And also, you said to yourself that anything you write in this notebook is going to come true.
Yeah.
So can you expand upon that? And then what actually did the attorney say when they called you, or how did you find out that this was happening? And it was the very same amount that you wrote in this notebook that you got the very next day. So how did that feel?
Yeah, so I was kind of on a high because I had just moved into my apartment. So I'm thinking, okay, there's something to this. If I can write down and put myself in the mindset of actually having my apartment, then I can do something else. And so I went to the bookstore and I just saw the galaxy, and it just made me think like if anything was possible, because it's like space, you know? So I just picked it up and I just thought to myself, I set the intention, anything I write in here is going to come true. So how it felt was like I literally felt like I was dreaming. I felt like I was dreaming. I'm like, there's no way that this is happening. There's no way. This cannot be real. And then I told myself, like, I'm a magician. I'm a magician. That's literally what I said to myself. And so when they called me, they just told me that they said, hey, the case is over, and we just wanted to let you know that this is the amount that you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting $20,000. Of course, there was some stuff that they take out of it to pay for like the lawyers and the hospital bills and stuff. But it was still more than enough for me to do everything that I said I wanted to do originally when I was writing it on my computer.
So that was like really, really incredible that this happened. And you actually really needed this money because you were pregnant and had all this stuff happening in your life. And then it happened the same amount. But when you were writing this down, you felt it. You, I assume, believed it. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what exactly did it feel like when you were writing this down? Did you say it out loud, or what was going on in your head?
I think I'm mostly focused on how peaceful it would feel because I went through so much when I was pregnant. I just wanted peace. I just wanted to be able to just relax because losing somebody, that's hard. Losing someone who was like your best friend, that's even harder. Losing someone to them taking their own lives, it's like you can't understand that feeling unless you actually go through it. So I just wanted to be able to have a peaceful environment for my son and a place where I can just like let everything go and relax. I had so many panic attacks throughout the pregnancy because of what happened. And so I think I just focused on peace. When I was writing it, I was focusing, imagining myself not having the pain anymore and just being able to relax.
So you had some anxiety at the time. Your friend had just, I mean, understandably, because your friend had passed away and you had stress over money, it sounds like, and these other things. So when you were writing this out, just to clarify, you weren't thinking about that stuff, right? You were just sort of living in the moment of having already what you want, or
I was going through a lot of anxiety daily and grieving. And so when I was writing, when I was typing on the computer and when I was writing in the book, that was kind of my escape. I put myself mentally, physically, emotionally, I put myself in the space of actually getting it because, first of all, it helped me feel better. And second, I felt like if I could feel it, then I could make it happen.
I noticed in the video on that I watched on TikTok, and we will tag your page below, but I noticed that you mentioned that I don't know if you used the word block out everything else that was happening, but you had a lot of stress happening with your friend passing away and stress over money. But were you living in the end as if you already had, I mean, you weren't thinking about these things, the stress. You were living in a different place in your mind. Can you talk about that a little
Right.
bit?
I feel like whenever whenever I was typing on the computer or writing in the book, I only focused on how I would feel when it happens because I don't think I realized I was manifesting. I don't even think I really knew that word yet. I think I just wanted to feel better and it was like an escape for me. I think that's how it was. Looking back on it, I didn't know what manifestation was at this point. It was just like an escape and I forgot about everything else and I just zoned in on what I wanted.
So, how did it feel then when you did write out this exact amount, $20,000? And not only did you write that, didn't you write from a lawsuit in this
Yeah,
notebook? And then it came that exact way the next
yeah,
day?
because I had gotten into a car crash a few months before, and so I knew I was going to get something. I just didn't know how much. I don't even know where the number 20,000 came from. I don't know if it was like my intuition saying 20,000 or if I just came up with it, but I felt like that was a good enough amount to do the things I wanted to do. Like I wanted to start my own YouTube and do tarot readings, like the fortune telling, and I wanted to make my own like spiritual products like candles and stuff. And so I did that for a while and the money helped me do that.
Wow. Yes, yeah, absolutely. How important was the money to you after this came into your life?
It was very important because I mean, I was raising my kid by myself, and before I had my apartment, I was living with my family. I love my family, but we we kind of argued all the time, and so adding a baby into it would have been so much worse. We got back into a healthy connection after I moved into my own space. Everyone could breathe. But I needed the money for my own peace of mind and just so I can create the environment for my son. It was very important for me to create a healthy environment for him, especially because the friend that I lost was in a bad environment with his family. So I think I was just thinking about um, what I couldn't do for him, I could do for my son, if that makes sense. Because he helped me with my own depression. So in a way, I was like kind of honoring him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And you mentioned that you didn't really know what manifestation was or didn't necessarily believe in it before, but now it sounds like you do. So, what are your thoughts on manifestation
I
now?
think it's completely real. Even if you don't believe in manifestation, what you think is true. Like if you think bad about yourself, it's going to affect everything in your life is going to be bad because of how you think. Even if you don't believe in manifestation, how you think affects your life. But when you set the intention, when you're intentional about things, I think that you get quicker results and you get results quick. You get results that are closer to what you want when you're intentional.
That's amazing. Well, I'm so glad that we got to connect. And I've had so many similar experiences where you visualize something or act it out in your head and feel that, and then it happens in real life, like way beyond money, just different things.
And I also want to say, when I was typing on the computer, I wasn't just typing and feeling. I also was looking at pictures on Google. So that, I think that also helped me visualize, because sometimes I have problems visualizing and I'll have to look at a picture. Like when I imagine me doing this interview with you, sometimes I would look at your interviews and I would watch you ask a question, pause it, and then I would answer as you're talking to me.
Wow. That seems like a powerful technique, visual. I love that. Well, I'm glad that we actually got to, that vision became a reality here. It's amazing. It's amazing. So 7, is there anything else that you want to say about your story today that I don't know enough to ask, or that you just want to say?
I think my biggest thing I want to leave with people is that don't let anybody tell you that your life has to be perfect in order for you to manifest. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to be in such a high vibration to manifest. That's such a wrong way of thinking, because I mean, I was grieving and I was pregnant, hormones everywhere, and I still got what I wanted. And it's because I tuned everything out and I focused on it. And it was only for I think 30 minutes a day that I did this for a few months. So you can manifest anything no matter what you're going through in your life. I feel like, I feel like I've seen too many videos on TikTok and YouTube where it's like, you have to be high vibration, high vibration. No, you just have to feel it and see it repeatedly, and don't give up on yourself. Keep the faith. That's the most important part.
Keep the faith. That is beautiful. I love that. Well, 7, thank you very much for sharing your experience here today. I really appreciate it, and such a pleasure
I'm going to meet you in
meeting you.
I know that. We're going to be friends.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's plan on it. Okay.
I had to take a double take because all of these numbers were adding up, and my heart started pounding. I started getting this adrenaline rush. So she looked at the ticket. Her eyes got a little big, and she said, "Yeah, but you forgot to sign it." I got cut that first check that day. I believe in manifestation. I used to watch The Secret pretty regularly, actually. But once I actually saw the check in my hand, I said, okay, this is real. Like, things are possible. Anything is possible.